Hi, thanks for joining me with another episode of Still Growing. I'm Judy, and on this channel, I offer my opinion on important topics, and frankly, sometimes I'm just fooling around. Either way, it's all good. So if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for spending some time with me, and if you're new, welcome. So today, I'd like to talk about Donald Trump. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is a picture here of Donald Trump, and this picture was taken shortly before the election. And this other picture is of one of him that was just taken. And in this picture here, it looks like he's actually aged between 4 to 7 years over the last couple of weeks. So what's going on with him? Why is it that he looks so bad? I mean, Donald Trump is not a handsome man to begin with. Here it looks like he's going through some type of withdrawal or some type of depression, or he's in some kind of shock. This looks like some major life-changing event has happened to this man. Now, usually with presidents, when it's time to change over, they understand. They talk the talk, but when it comes down to it, they understand that, the presidency is only for a short term. And if you're lucky, you get to do it again for another 4 years. But basically, they're prepared to change over. It looks as if Donald Trump had no idea that he would not be elected again. Now, we all know that Mr. President lives in a different world from the rest of us. He lives in a world of privilege and a world that basically just caters to him. And it's not just him, because all the other previous presidents, to a large extent, most of them grew up in that world of privilege. But I think what the difference is with Donald Trump is that usually those other presidents would have somebody in their camp that were able to, just basically bring them back down to earth. But Donald Trump is a man that is so egotistical that I think that he really believes a lot of the stuff that he says. I think usually presidents, they will tell you what you want to hear. With Donald, he would just come out and say, the craziest things. And he's not just saying it because, he's trying to appease somebody. He's saying that because that's exactly how he feels. He lives in a reality that is totally foreign to the rest of us, right? And you see that in terms of from the start where he's saying, I want to make America great again. What about America that was great before? You had a few people, and really just a few people that were really enjoying the harvest of the country. A few people live wealthy, privileged, happy. Well, not necessarily happy, because a lot of rich people are miserable as hell. But a few of them, were living that lifestyle that the rest of us would like to actually share in. But the rest of us were, the ones working so that they can live that lifestyle. So when he talks about going back to making America great again, he has no idea what America was in terms of the majority of the people that lives in America, or the majority of people who live around the world for that matter. And then he talks about, building a wall to keep Mexico out. Like, excuse me? Mexico feed a lot of the states. A lot of the stuff that's grown in Mexico is grown for exporting to the states. Mexicans clean almost half of the country. So Mexico is vital to the running of the country itself, But he's so surrounded by his wealthy class of people and his privilege, he have no idea really what is going on. And then again, you see it in terms of how he referred to Black people. During the rioting and the picketing that was going on this summer, what does he do? He comes up and hold up the Bible. And he does that because that's what the KKK thinks of Black people. They have been able to control Black people through the Bible for, so many hundreds of years. And so they figured that a lot of black people are still in that place where they don't see how religion is being used to control them. So he figured if he comes up and hold up the Bible, we will just all settle back. Everyone will just settle back down and go back to work and do what the master says. And, the thing is that he actually believes this stuff. He believes that. It's really sad because I think that Donald Trump could have won this presidency if he was a better person. It appears as if the majority, if not all, of Christian people, whether it's in the States or around the world, was rooting for him. And they were rooting for him because they could see some things that were happening over the last few years that was pleasing in terms of, him trying to fight against pedophilia. I think that because the church were really rooting for him to win this election, despite all the things that he did, despite grabbing women by the you-know-what, despite supporting the KKK against black people, instead of stepping in and doing the right thing, outlawing them, despite talking about, building a wall or trying to even start building a wall, despite calling, African countries shithole, despite his so many shortcomings, it appears that Christians within the United States and Christians around the world were rooting for him to win. And they were rooting for him because he was trying to clean out the pedophilias, the sex abuse, and against children in Hollywood. Not that he didn't know beforehand what was going on, because I think he ran with the whole group. But it appears, and people, please do correct me if you see differently, but it appears as if he was trying to make some type of difference. So the church was really behind him because they felt as if, okay, here is somebody that's standing up against Hollywood and standing up against pedophilia. But he's the one who destroyed his own presidency. He destroyed his own presidency because he began to believe the craziness that was going on in his head. He really believed that he was untouchable. He really believed that despite all the stuff that he's done, and got away with, that the people would continue to support him. You have church leaders all over the world that were prophesying that he would be president again. And all of that got to his head. All of that, the God is behind you. God chose you to be the president and that no man can move you. All of that got to his head. He failed to realize that God endowed the people, that God moves through the people. He fails to understand that God doesn't just speak to those church leaders. Or, as a matter of fact, a lot of those church leaders don't even know God. But I guess that's a topic for other times. He believed all of those, whether it was other people whispering in his ear or his own ego, of all through his life being able to get what he wanted, when he wanted, how he wanted it. He just began to believe that he was invincible. And so this is a major shock to him. This is a major shock to his system that, in fact, he's out. And frankly, it's his doing. Poor Mr. President. Life's been hard on him for the last couple of weeks. Easy come, easy go. Okay, people, thank you for joining me. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification. And please don't forget to also give me a like. That really helps me out a lot. And until next time, peace and love. Bye-bye.